Welcome to Mitchell Levy Presents, where I dive into the essential elements of clarity and credibility. Hosted by global credibility expert Mitchell Levy, today's episode offers invaluable insights to make you think and act more credibly. Join us as we explore living your values, boosting your credibility, and leading purposefully. Hi, Mitchell Levy, global credibility expert, and I am so happy you're here. We get to enjoy one of the most funnest times of my day where I get to talk to somebody about their values. And so we have Eric Stopper with us today. Hey, Eric, so glad to have you here.
Hello, glad to be here. Really happy to be on your show.
Oh, good. And so, Eric, who are you?
Yeah, Eric Stopper. Who is this character that I play? It's been a discovery process for me since 2019, and I have been through several iterations that were very difficult in describing who I was, and all the best business books and life optimization books have told me I need a purpose and I need my why and I need to know exactly who I am and what I'm about. And that the central core of who I am has been really hard to find since going through an existential crisis in 2019 and then tripping on ayahuasca. Like it's been a difficult road. And so spiritually and emotionally, I am a connector, right? That's who I am deep down. I love connecting with people and I love connecting people together. And I love a great big room with lots of people having lots of great conversations that are pushing the world forward. On the list of credentials, I am a jiu-jitsu coach and a podcaster and a business owner. I'm a father and a husband and a craftsperson, a blacksmith. I've got a lot of things that I am interested in doing and that I do. And I am addicted to this idea of devotion, the concept of immersing yourself, being relentlessly and like obsessed with whatever it is that you're doing in your life. And so I've tried to craft businesses and a lifestyle around those ideas. So that's me in a nutshell with as much nuance as possible.
Dude, I love that. What does devotion mean? Give me a definition of that from your perspective.
It's I went through this exercise. It's funny. You talk a lot about values, right? And one of the things that happened when I left the Mormon church was I had to get really, thankfully I had some great advice from people while I was exiting, but they told me to be really militant about which things that I was going to take from the church and which things I was going to leave with the church, which things I was going to leave behind. So I went through this exercise of, I had a grid of values that I wanted to embody. And I started consolidating them. I started like mixing them together. So I compare integrity and honesty. Okay, integrity is the winner, almost like a single elimination, like competition, right? So integrity goes to commitment. Okay, integrity wins. Okay, integrity goes to, like follow through. Integrity wins, right? These are all like sub sections of integrity until I ended up with the list of values that I have today, which are wisdom, presence, integrity, gratitude, and self-mastery. And those things are devotion, right? Your devotion to something is a practice of being 100% present with it, eliminating distractions from your life. Being devoted to something is figuring out the best way to do it. For me, that's wisdom, right? Like both learning from books and from people on how I can do things better and trying to take inputs from the things that I do in this world and apply them to my life. That's wisdom for me. Devotion is very grateful, right? It is obsession with the things that you love in your life and sitting down and attuning yourself and aligning yourself with the energy to just whether it's dopamine and serotonin and norepinephrine like flowing through your body, whatever you want to call gratitude, the energy and the neurochemical juices that are produced by that process fuel devotion, right? It is the, I think, the end all be all of it, right? Like when I'm devoted to something, I feel a deep and profound sense of gratitude for it. And then finally, the self mastery element of it, right? Like to focus on and commit yourself to becoming a master of the self. It's a path that, you know, is different for every single person. For me right now, it's picking a handful of things and mastering them. Right now, it happens to be the ukulele and the guitar and podcasting, you know, just trying to get real good at podcasting. And I'm also trying to build $1 billion relationship with my kids, right? Like that mastery of self is huge. And that has to do with like breathing and being way more patient with them. So all the values feed each other, but that's devotion. Kind of a long answer, but for me, it's the embodiment of all my values.
Yeah, it's interesting. Okay. Thank you for that. Yes, that was a super long answer. I was trying to grok on what was interesting there. And you know, what stood out the most was building $1 billion relationship with your children. Tell me about that.
Yeah. So we have a 8-year-old and an 18-month-old at the time of this recording. So 18 months old, right? Like he is a hellion. He is just pure and utter beautiful chaos. My two boys.
Wait. Let's step back for a second, right? Let's step back. Like before having children, when people try to explain what does it mean to be a parent, you have no clue, right? If you said, okay, life is now going to go into chaos, I'm not sure you would still know what it means.
Yeah.
And for you to actually say that you're living in the whirlwind of your child's chaos is just such a beautiful thing to hear.
It defines everything about our life right now. And the energy that we devote to we're constantly having to pull ourselves over to the 8-year-old because he's like good. He's humming. He's in school, but we've got to remember to give him lots of attention. Thankfully, he asks us for it. He'll literally come up to us and get right in our face and be like, I need attention. And so that's a good reminder. But the 18-month-old is just so consumed, right? He takes all of our attention. And it defines every part of our life. So for instance, he's been throwing things away the last couple months. Like he'll just take our Nintendo Switch and he'll just go and put it in the trash can secretly. And we will see him walking innocently away from the trash can, and we go in and check it. And sure enough, there's our shoe. And so we have for sure thrown away things. And we've just, like we joke around, we've had to embrace non-materialism, right? It's just like, oh, it turns out that I didn't actually need that thing, right? Like the universe took it away from me via these little, 15-month-old hands. So I love being a dad. We got pregnant real quick when we were first married. Like literally we backdated it 14 days into our marriage. We got pregnant. And so we've never really known anything else. The pregnancy was rough. It was miserable. And so I ended up taking the role of the caretaker early on, helping my wife through that experience. And then our older son was born with a traumatic brain injury. And at the time I was running a startup. I was a mechanical engineer, marketer in school, trying to launch this business, and we were winning big checks and we were on big stages and traveling all over the world, promoting this technology. And at that point in my life, I actually I was letting the experience of being the entrepreneur get in the way of being a dad. And my wife took the full weight. She was taking our son to all of his therapy appointments. We spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on early intervention therapy, which works, by the way. If your kid has a traumatic brain injury out there, get them in occupational and physical and behavioral therapy, and you can alter their neurochemistry and their neurophysiology. So, yeah, I am constantly trying to do better. I don't have the best relationship with my dad, And so I'm trying to use that as a reflection to be more intentional about it. And passionate, I'm just such a passionate I'm a dramatic person, Mitchell. Like like, if I get mad, I'm really mad. If I'm really happy, if I'm happy, I'm really happy. So I'm trying to dial that down in order to succeed in my expedition of having $1 billion relationship with my kids. Cause oftentimes the intensity of my emotions is what throws it all off. So trying to be more present, trying to be more self-aware. And it's also just fun. I love playing Legos and just like going around the park. And I'm in a weird phase of my life because my wife is a full-time student, and I take care of the baby in the morning until like from the time he wakes up. We're up at 6:30, and then from the time that she comes home around 11, I've got the baby. And so I can't play. I'm not the Elon Musk 160-hour weeks. I'm just the lifestyle entrepreneur dad right now.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Anyone listening, being a lifestyle entrepreneur is probably something I've been since 1997.
Nice.
And it's a nice place to live. There are words that you integrate into your language that is interesting. The word $1 billion relationship doesn't always have a positive interaction for me, like when I'm thinking about that, right? So as the other word you use, which was interesting, is you need to militantly decide which of the Mormon church attributes and values you're going to keep and which you're going to get rid of. That says something to me. Tell me why you take that route? And it could be maybe foundation in the jiu-jitsu and other things, but
I've been trying to figure that out myself, actually. My vernacular was I've realized recently that it was strongly influenced by where I was raised, which I think is the case for everybody. But here I am in San Antonio, Texas. I didn't even know that San Antonio was called Military City until I came back after being gone for a decade after I graduated. But we got 4 military bases here. This is Military City, baby. So I've been exposed to Army and Air Force and medical people my entire life. I went to the school with one of the best ROTC programs in the world. I was a Boy Scout, right? So you combine all those things together. I'm yes sir, no ma'am, copy that, affirmative, right? Like, and I didn't even realize it until really recently. It started cropping up when I was just in my conversations with people. So I think my approach to life, the whole dedication and devotion aspect of things, the fact that I want to master things are all very militaristic ideals. And I've never been in the military before. I tried to join the Air Force once, but I have flat feet. So they were like, nah, you have a chance. And I gave up because I guess I didn't really want it. So in the value selection process, like the intensity of that scenario, I think was due in part to the fact that my departure from the church had a intense quality to it. I was confused and having issues connecting with God. And I ended up going up into the mountains and praying all day and all night after over a year of intense study and prayer and reflection and meditation and working with mentors and talking to my ecclesiastical leaders and trying to find this thing that was inside, while on the backside realizing that in 2015 I had opened a chakra in this transcendental magic way that you can go learn about on my YouTube channel. But it came into conflict with the things that the church had taught. So I was so conflicted. So when we finally decided to leave, I was encouraged to cut off or adopt. It was like either you take it or you leave it, and you leave it behind completely and you move on with your bag that you keep. So that process was militant. It was intense. And then I shook the snow globe a couple months later and did a psychedelic ceremony. And that deepened that value selection process for me and made me I questioned everything, Mitchell. It was maybe not the best timing on it, but it called my name. which is often how ayahuasca does it for you. You're one moment you're hearing about it, and the next moment you're in a ceremony. So I think it was the combination of all those things that led me to take that approach to it.
Hmm. It is one of the core values of being credible is being coachable and having the intent and commitment to do the right thing, to be a servant leader and of service to others. Who do you think you serve today? Who, besides yourself, you've covered that, and your family? Who do you serve?
Yeah, I have clients, I have customers, and I have a couple of different businesses, and they're all slightly different. They're all slightly different profiles. The person that I serve the most is going to be the kids on the jiu-jitsu mat. So I don't know what it is. I love it. There's something about teaching a martial art that fires me up. And I find myself like, it's so silly, but we do these passing drills, right? You got to pass the person's legs, get through and get chest to chest so you can pin them on the ground and then, try and armbar them or whatever. And I find great passion and satisfaction in like yelling and encouraging my students to do things a certain way, and then like boosting them up and helping them feel like they've come a long way, and really like highlighting the ways that they've done things well. And that that emotion I carry into all the relationships in my life. I really love hyping people up, and I'm kind of just realizing that right now. Is it's a beautiful day when I can walk away from a conversation helping somebody feel like they're at their best, right? When they're just like jazzed up and they're encouraged. And I think that's, that probably has a lot to do with what I wanted as a little kid. And I think I got it. I had good parents, but yeah, that's how I'd answer that.
But you mentioned before that you don't have a good relationship with your dad. Is that in conflict with being brought up well, or just where we are now as a result of leaving the Mormon Church? Or
The issue preceded the Mormon Church thing. Yeah, it was. You know, I love my
we
dad.
don't have to, Mother, we don't have to go there.
No,
This
we're
was
good.
not
No,
part of
that's
it.
fine. No,
Yeah.
I love my dad so much, and he did his best. It's his first time going through this human experience as well, so I can't judge him. I don't know that I've done any better, to be honest. So we are constantly evolving, and I leave for a decade, and then I come back, and I have to revisit all of the emotions that I got to ignore for 10 years. And then all of a sudden they all come back, and I address them as a man now, with all of these different things that I've learned along the way, now having not been a member of the same church that he had brought me up in. But the beautiful thing of it is realizing along the way that uh, we like all the same music, and he's a little bit of a hippie like I am, and he's really not as into all of the dogma of the church as I thought that he was. So it's been it's been an exploration on both fronts. I have a decent relationship with my dad. I think that any harm that I've done to it has been purely my reaction to things that I didn't understand. And now I have the opportunity to fix those things. Time is ticking always, and I'm constantly working on it. Thankfully, they live
Mm,
11 minutes away. So I get lots of times at bat to make it better.
nice. All right. So you like helping whoever you serve, you like helping that person be the best they can be to increase, whether it's the kids on the jujitsu mat or some of the other business you have. Now, is it the best that they can be or the best that you think they should be?
The best, some of the best interactions that we've had have been off of a loss. And the experience of losing and having your coach come and remind you to shake it off and to move to the next one. And thankfully that's over, right? You can move on to the next thing. I think is really instructive for a especially a young kid and for someone who's really good. When you're at a high level and you're used to like smashing everybody in your category, to be able to lose is super instructive. And so I think that it's the best that I know that they can be. I don't know that those two things are different. I think that everybody goes in, especially in their competition matches. They signed up for the competition because they think that they could win. I went and I supported them at the competition because I think that they could win. And I'm going to do everything that I can, and they're going to do everything that they can to make that true. All of a sudden, when it's not, is when it really matters. Is all of a sudden they got beat and the character development begins at that point. If you're always losing, you're not really developing too much. You're just always the winner. But when you take the hit is when it starts to catalyze and uh, crystallize the character that you have and that you're going to carry with you. So I think it's both. It's who I think they can be, and I have high expectations for myself and all others, maybe a little bit higher than they have of themselves. But I also believe that life is a single character RPG, and you got to play this game the best that you can. And I expect everybody to do the best that they can in all scenarios. So my standards might be a little high, but I think that they're realistic given this reality that we're faced with.
Dude, I love that. I often say when I create business partnerships. So this will be a business focused question. When I create business partnerships, I meet somebody, I interact with them, I decide I like them. We make a decision to do some business experiment together, i.e., first client. And sometime during that experience, stuff will hit the fan.
Mm.
And when it does, it's when your partner's in the room, when you're not in the room, and do they say the same thing you're saying under pressure? That's valuable. And then after that, we make a decision. Did we like it? Do we want to keep going? Okay, let's put contracts in place. Right. That's always my modus operandi. Give me an example where where stuff really did hit the fan in a business relationship and what you do about it.
Ooh, man. I've had a lot of stuff hit the fan. How do you even pick? Boy. So
Oh, I know. It's so funny when people say, "Hey, there's a life event that's changed you," and I go, "Well, I got 5. Let's see, which one do I pick for you?"
I have a handful of stories, but I'm gonna highlight the current partnership that I have. So the business that I'm in right now was a total accident. I referred a business to a friend. The friend wanted to start a business with me. He brought in 2 other partners. We started this business. We crushed it. A year later, the original referral found out that the guy had started the business and threatened to sue him and made him sign a non-compete. He exited the business with one of our other partners and left me and my partner where we are now with this company. So if you didn't follow that, right, it's 2 people in this company that didn't actually know each other at all from Adam. We were just 2 random, really salespeople that were thrust together. And in 2023, Meta betrays us. We were advertising for functional medicine clinics, and our cost per acquisition went up by like 7x. It was so bad. And so in that moment, my business partner stepped up to the plate and made it happen. He did everything that he knew how to do and didn't do the great job of it. Like didn't do a great job, but it wasn't something that he was familiar with. So I don't know why I ever expected him to like crush it. And plus he was dealing with Meta, and Meta's evil. And so fast forward a year, and we are now, I guess, fast forward 2 years, and we are completely pivoted, a new business, a new technology, a new modicum, and just like everything is new and different. And we now have all of this business experience that we're able to bring to the table with, and I consider us pretty sharp, right? Like we're good entrepreneurs. We're not making stupid decisions. I'm the youngest one. I'm the younger one, so I'm the problem child, I think, probably. He brings more maturity to the table. So, you know, we learned, this is so funny. In a more of a general sense, we've learned how to argue, like as functional partners. So it's not necessarily like the big things that happen, like when there's a client that wants to cancel, those are actually like they're actually like more relaxed, and it's a little bit relieving because we kind of realize like, this isn't maybe the best fit. And then something terrible goes wrong and we're like, oh, finally, like, great. Let's just wrap this relationship up. It's little nuanced things about how we do marketing and sales and what we're telling clients and how we interact with our customers that will just grind against each other on, man. We just get so like, I'll get so worked up when I'm like, I'm trying to do this thing and you're stopping me from doing this thing. Every single time that has ever happened, the end of our conversation is, you're right. I'm sorry. Here's my piece. I own that. This is my responsibility. Let's move on. And we get to just like move on. So, with no particular examples in the mix, like that's one of the most instructive things that I've learned is, number one, like, don't partner with somebody that you know super well. Just make sure that you like can argue with them effectively and come out on top. Like, don't partner with your friends. The fact that he is a stranger essentially has been really good. It's been great. Like, I'll never do business with like a lifelong personal friend or family member for that matter. Like, oh my gosh, like, guide me through a table saw instead of doing that. So, and then ideally get someone who's married and has been married for a long time so that that they know how to argue effectively. And yeah, and then like I think it's important to set some ground rules from time to time, just like a reminder of like, you don't fucking yell at me, that type of thing. Thankfully we don't. It's just like, it's mostly messages, in the middle of the night, like, no, this is bullshit. But yeah, setting ground rules as often as possible.
Dude, I'm so glad I asked that question. Listen, if you're listening to this and you're like, I gotta talk to this Eric Stopper guy. Eric, what's the best way for people to reach out to you?
LinkedIn for sure. I'm the only Eric Stopper of which I'm aware of, and you can direct message me on the. If I don't get there, my assistant will get there and can set up a time for us to talk.
Awesome, thank you. And Eric, based on this conversation, which I'm sure went in a way that was different than both you and I expected, is there a question that I should have asked you, or is there a question that you'd like to ask yourself that I haven't asked?
Thankfully you queued this up before the show, so I had a chance to think about it. And, lately the questions that I've been wanting to talk about have absolutely nothing to do with business. They have to do more with like the metaphysical nature of reality. Like that's the stuff that I'm into right now is like God stuff. 'Cause I've been on this journey. And so, I think I'd love to have like a perspective question from you that almost challenges fundamental beliefs that I've garnered along the way. And I'll give you a subject that I think you might be able to chew on. And that is this exploration that I've done recently into the teachings of Jesus from a quantum physics perspective. So I've been queuing up parts of the New and Old Testament and just thinking like, okay, let's assume that the person who's writing this right now is talking about quantum physics as we understand it in 2050. And then you start to realize like, oh, they're talking about quantum physics right now. Like all this stuff that Jesus was up to, all the things that he was learning about was some amalgamation of religious, quasi-dogmatic, exploration into vibrations and stuff like that. So I would ask a question along those lines, asking about the nature of God. What do you believe? What is really in that head of yours? And, what does it mean for your life? Something like that.
Fascinating. By the way, it sounds like that conversation you're having with your chat bot.
All the time. Yeah.
Yeah, that
Oh, yeah.
sounds like the way you speak, the way you articulate is really good framing for asking AI and talking with AI. Ah, so the question becomes, I'll ask you this one question. Let's assume the continual growth of AI, and in 2050, is do each of us walk around with our own AI god?
Oh boy, I think that um, we are already noticing the human craving for non-machine interaction, and that line will continue to get blurred. It will become indistinguishable over time. But I think um, we've seen more people going to coffee shops. We've seen more people going into businesses. We've seen more reluctance to like isolate. Even in introverts, the behaviors are very clear in these peer-reviewed studies. And so, no, I think that most people are probably going to try and leave it at home. I think that culturally, we're going to shift towards like, once I am out of my house, I'm trying to float with the butterflies, and like be with the people and be present. And I think that it's going to become almost like societally, uh, apropos is the wrong word, but almost like if you're on your phone in public, like people will look down on you. I think that that's where the culture is going. Is we're going to have this generational awakening, and there's going to be a cultural shift that happens along the way that makes it so that more people are wanting to interact, and it inserts itself into the fabric of public interaction. So maybe we vote with our phones, we transact with our phones. Like, sure, they're still in our pockets and stuff, but I think that the human craving is just a little bit too strong, and it will overcome. And those things are purely going to be like transactional where they need to be. But we're going to, the relationships between humans are going to get better and better as a result of what's happened with AI.
Well, right before we came on, you told me that your primary focus was customer experience, and that equates to that really well. So thank you for that. Thank you for that
Yes,
answer.
sir.
And thank you so much. I so enjoy every interaction with you, and this was absolutely no exception. And so, thank you so much for joining us today.
Glad to be here. Thank you for the invite.
You're welcome. And hey, listen, this is now your turn. Those in the audience, whether or not you're watching this live or you're interacting with it at some other point in time when we release the podcast, this is your time to pick the aha moment that was most relevant for you. Share it on the social media platform that you can. Feel free to tag me, tag Eric. And thanks for joining us today. Look forward to seeing you at the next episode of Leaders Living Their Values. Take care, everyone. Bye now. Thank you for tuning in. We hope you found value in today's episode. Like, subscribe, and share your aha moments on your preferred platform. Remember, credibility starts with clarity and living your values. Learn more at mitchelllevy.com. Until next time.